You've come in the midst of an argument about whether or not colonialism has been a constructive force in world history. It started out rather one-sided as the only colonial power represented. The other four countries here tonight are the Gold Coast and the Philippines, India, and Mexico. But let me introduce you now to the students who are here. How about the Philippines, Ralph?
Ours, on the other hand, my government is stressing very much importance on the development of the agricultural industry, and most of the aid comes from the United States, I should say.
Tell us a little bit more about it, will you, Ralph? What is the program?
Well, you see, the Philippines and America are involved in a democratic partnership, as they call it. It's sort of a system wherein they try to foster closer and a more harmonious relation between the peoples of the two countries. And it also includes the sending of U.S. equipment and commodities to the Philippines as approved and recommended by Philippine and American experts. But the Philippine government also plays a part in that. They have to provide the money so that those commodities sent by America can be used.
How many Americans do you think you have in Philippines at present?
Americans?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know exactly, but I can tell you that the aim is to have a more diversified economy for the Philippines, greater production, and a higher income for the agricultural and industrial laborers.
I mean,
Well,
do you get most of those things free, or you get it, I mean, in forms of, I mean, loans and all those things?
Well, we get most of them free.
Oh,
well, I
free.
think I'm afraid of this point, because we don't believe in getting things free from any country.
No
There's a
doors.
selfish purpose in behind all of that.
Yes. there's a
Well, I
selfish
don't
purpose.
think so. There is a selfish purpose.
There must be.
Because the purpose of America is to strengthen Philippine economy, because it believes that the Philippines gets much of its strength from developed rural communities.
Oh, well,
And
I see.
in
This is
the-
how I take it to be. I've seen that America is very much interested in the Far East countries, simply because they fear, I mean, there might be some communist colonization
I'm
in
with
those
you.
countries, you know, especially the Philippines. I think it is of strategic importance to the United States.
Yeah.
Well, if you come to Africa, for instance, I mean, we lack most of these things, you know. We don't get American aid.
Well, I should say, Nini, I guess all of us are against certain communistic principles, if not all. And in strengthening the Philippines, don't you think that it also strengthens the free world in some way?
Well, it doesn't strengthen the free world. I mean, it helps towards, I mean, democratic colonization. As I
This is how we do it. We form committees, and every weekend we go to the remote barrios about 100 or so miles from the city of Manila, the capital of the Philippines. And well, we bring with ourselves some form of books, magazines, and rice and corn seeds, these flour bags, and we sell them to the people of those small communities, which well can't be reached so easily, at a very low price, you see. And most of the time, I mean all of the time, we have to endure so many hardships.
Who subsidizes the price?
Yes.
The Americans?
No, not the Americans. We have funds, you know. We get them from the students of the colleges.
Oh,
There are
well,
sorts
I mean,
of
yes, I
of,
charity,
membership
I mean,
fees.
I mean, something like charity.
Something like that.
Oh, I
And
see.
well, with regards to the hardships that we encounter, it's most of those lands are below the mountains where there are operations going on between communist and government forces. So we have to, well, the fear of dying. So we have to receive Holy Communion almost every time we go there. And
Do you have many communists?
well, it's slowly fading away, you know, and it's not accessible to transportation. So we have to use these Carabao wheel carts, and we ride on them.
What are
And
they?
sometimes when the people don't expect us to be going there, they usually, well, we have no food to eat, so we turn to unripe bananas and these hard bread that they make in the
I mean,
provinces.
what form of government do you have? Do you
Yes.
have, I mean, democracy? Or,
We have a democracy.
I mean, after the American pattern or after the British pattern?
It's
American.
after the America.
I see.
Naturally.
Oh, no wonder.
When did America become interested in Philippines?
It always
Well,
was.
America was, it started around the late 1800s, you know,
I
when
see.
America took the Philippines away from Spain.
I see.
But well, you know, the Filipinos are sort of hostile and so recalcitrant that they thought at first that America was selfish. But when America liberated the Philippines from Japan, they really found out that the spirit with which America did those things was a spirit of brotherhood to help the fallen brother rise up once more.
Oh, well, I mean, how many natural resources have we got? Because I fear, I mean, if America is
Yes.
interested in the Philippines, simply, I mean, America is interested because she wants to exploit your natural resources for her
We
own
have a
benefits.
lot of natural resources, you know.
Well, I see a very easy reason why any country should be interested in another country. Moreover, when this country is far east and when it has the resources, and when it's, as you said, has still communism within the island.
I still say that America has the motive of strengthening the Philippines in order to strengthen the free world.